I have a very difficult final question for you. You're ALvaro Pierri. You won all the competitions. You had a great career, played everywhere, still playing great. What do you still want for the next 20, 30 years? What is the future? What would you still like to do?
I want to play better. This means everything. And in reality, sometimes I've been composing, and I think that the future is back to the future, in the sense, before, until, I don't know, in a certain moment in the 19th century, most of musicians were also composers, improvisers, etc., etc. And very often, multi-instrumentalists. Mm-hmm. We need to go back to this. We need to go back to this.
That's a theory that I've been pushing for a long time.
Really? Let's celebrate this. You know, there's one guy that started something like this now, it's Dusan Bogdanovic. Mm-hmm. He finally started this interpretation and composing at the same time.
I've been pushing this theory for a long time, that the solution is going back to the performer-composer pattern that we had before.
Exactly.
And you were saying that Dusan Bogdanovic is doing that.
He's starting now in Ginebra, in the Conservatorio, because he became teacher there some few years ago. He's starting a program like this. I was with him a couple of months ago, and we have a couple of projects together, and I really believe in this. And there in Vienna, I'm trying to convince colleagues, and this is difficult. It's difficult. Even colleagues that are, let's say, sympathetic to the idea. But this of...
You're taking people out of their comfort zone.
Probably. The thinking comfort, the deducting comfort. But there's also something else. It's the structures. For example, it's very difficult to convince some of the colleagues, not only, I'm not talking specifically about a place or a school in general. It's very difficult to convince people to, let's say, rethink something that they think that it was over already. And it was never over, this story. Because, I mean, how many composers you know that are extremely good players? There are. Dusan is one of them. Mm-hmm. Marlos, he's a perfect interpreter. I mean, he's conducting the orchestra all the time, playing Beethoven or Bach or whatever. And how many others? I mean...
Well, we have people like Julia Fischer who can play the piano and the violin at a top level.
It needs to be like this. Or you had, for example, Rostropovich, he could play piano as good as cello. And he was accompanying people. And I mean,
there's
it needs to be like this.
There's a story about Casals. I don't know if it's true, but I love this story. They were asking him when he was 90 years old, why do you still practice so much? And the answer was, because my left hand is getting better.
Yeah, but it needs to be. Me, I'm playing better now than I was before. And just to check if I am really doing it, I try to hear my records before, and I'm always saying, no, I need to do this again. It needs to go further. And I don't know if you've heard, probably, the last Chopin nocturnes recorded by Arrau.
Yes.
When he was more than 80.
Yes.
And it was the third time he was recording them. They are much better than all the others. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know that the guy is 84 years old, you think, wow, this thing. Hmm? And when you know, it's triple wow. Hopefully.
Very, very last question. What is the future of the guitar for you?
Music. Music. And the highest technical virtuosism is completely useless, and in fact, it doesn't exist, if it is not having a purpose, if it is not just the tool for achieving something that needs to sound like this or like that, or that could sound like this or like that. Therefore, more composers are going to be stimulated to compose in all kinds, all avenues. Fortunately, today, the composers are not feeling like in the 70s or 60s or 70s that they have to play minor seconds and major sevenths all the time and having dissonances or making things completely new, absolutely new. So there's a lot of new to do with everything we know already, and this is going to be new. I mean, in any case. This is a very long discussion, but I will not give up.
We hope not. Álvaro, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.